Yeah, yeah, it says we're live. Oh my goodness. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, good night, wherever you are. All the best your way. This is Biz to Biz with Joy. Grow your business in style, where leaders who are leaving legacies come to share time and space with us. And tonight, oh, I do this every week because I get so excited about the guests that I bring to you. Tonight, we have a lady who's going to share with us an awful lot about fitness and all of its different realms. And we're going to be talking about dreams and your purpose and all of that stuff and how it relates to health and fitness. Her name is GODELIEVE Baby. And I might have not done that right, but she's okay with that because she'll correct me. But I want you to meet her because what she's doing, especially now in this crazy time that we're in and almost not necessarily out of it, but on our way, she's going to share with us a lot about fitness. She's a golf pro professional. She's a fitness functional professional. She loves the work that she's doing, and she's going to share much of that love with us tonight. So, Gotta leave. I'm bringing you up and I'm saying hello and welcome. Great to have you here.
Hi, Joy. Thank you for having me. Yes, gotta leave Babby. You can make fun of it. Gotta go. Gotta leave. Have fun with it. And a golf fitness professional. I don't touch your swing, but so for those golf pros out there, no, I don't teach a swing, but I'll bring the body to the swing.
Well, thank you for the clarification and the love and the patience that you're sharing because I happen to love your name. I think it's very unique and special as you are, and you can say it in each and every time you present anything to us because it's a beautiful name, as are you, and the work that you're doing is phenomenal. And I know it encompasses a lot, but I know that you're really interested in supporting people to get into their best fit possible. And I like what you say to me, you're a body geek and eyes into the body. So start off and share with us a little bit about what is the work that you're doing.
Well, when we talk about putting your eyes into your body so it can serve you more,
Yes.
unfortunately, many people go through fitness and they go through the body movements, but we have this entire system in our body that's nerve proprioceptive that tells you where you are in space. And when you can close your eyes, you can actually feel what your body is doing. And when you can feel what your body is doing from the big toe to the mastoid process behind your ear, you have a greater sense of control and stability. And that awareness will then open your movement opportunities. And when you can open your movement opportunities, the world becomes available to you at a whole new level.
That was so beautifully and eloquently expressed. And yet, I know with my limited knowing that as much as health and fitness is everything, and health is the greatest wealth anyone's ever going to have, your work has really been cut out for you, especially during this pandemic, because many people have gone a little bit more over to the dark side for all the things that one does. You know, a little bit more nibbling, not exercising as much. So, how are you supporting people to get into the dream and the purpose of where they are to go and to be, to stay in the best of health now?
Well, Joy, that's a great question because during the pandemic, a lot of in our industry really took a bad hit.
Yes.
A lot of it was rough, and many people were used to going to all their classes, and now there's a lot of people who are still afraid about going to the gym. Now we're starting to reopen a lot of things, and they took fitness into their own hands, into their own homes. But many were doing tapes and things of that nature. But one of the things that they left behind was a really important component, and that is their childhood dream.
Ah, I like that because that's one of the things we're going to talk about a little bit more in depth a little bit later. And I love the name of your business, which is you own Be Fit Anywhere. And that's what you're all about. You're supporting and helping people in every way that you can to know that no matter what circumstances they're in, about, and with, they can still be fit and fabulous. So, how did you tell us a little bit more about your business and how you go about it?
Well, the way we go about it is that we follow a success begets success rule. And when your body is not happy doing something, it's going to fight you every step of the way. And when we end up doing a full body assessment on how your body moves through old injuries, new injuries, if you're trying to do injury prevention, that we need to make sure we plan a chain reaction, meaning that we do one movement, but it kind of sneaks attack on trying to get the body to do something else. So it's kind of sleuthing around and trick the body into doing a movement. And a trained eye needs to figure out how to make the body do what you want it to do without it really knowing it.
GODELIEVE, I love the way you express that, because I love mystery, and I like that word sleuthing around, because that covers a lot of territory. And that's what you have to do. I'm sure most of the people who come to you, they come to you and you have to do a really deep probe assessment of what it is that you want to give them, aid and support them with, so that they can stand and be at their best self. And I like what you're talking about. We're going to talk about this a lot more in depth when I come back from my commercial break here. But how did you come to this dreams, fitness, and purpose? How did you align and put those together for what you're sending out and sharing with others? That didn't just boom. How did that come about?
Well, that came about from years and years and years. So when I do my interviews with my clients, when we do the interview, I said, this is not just you hiring me. This is me taking you on as a client, and we need to know what your why is. Why are you doing this? What made you happy when you were a child? Because when we do movements that make us happy, they're easy to repeat. You don't have to learn so much. It's imprinted, it's embedded, and you can lean on it at any time. So it's a guiding. And I found out through interviewing my clients when we started, that was always a place I can start. What interested you as a child?
I like that. And you know what else I like that you gave me? And I've always been a proponent of this, not knowing and learning more as time and whatever goes by. And that is that medicine is inclusive with good physical fitness. You said exercise is medicine. And I like that. Speak to that a wee bit, because I think sometimes, we know things here and here, but they're not connected. So how did you come to that understanding that exercise is medicine and inclusive, or ought to be, in everything that we do? I love that.
Well, one of the things part of my studies is that through the ACSM, American College of Sports and Medicine, is that they have a credential, and had to go through a lot of study and pass an exam to write down the words exercise is medicine, as that credential bridges the fitness industry to the medical industry. And also in that lines of credentials, we have to also remember that I work with people of the inclusive population, because they need special needs, that if there's any stroke or any rehab or any intellectual disability, they need unique programs. I need to be sensitive to that. So ACSM makes sure that we are credentialed to say exercise is medicine, that we're fully trained and aware and studied.
Let me ask you this, Donnelly, I know it's always different and it's varied. That's a given. But I'm sure the majority of people who come to you, they come to you with specific ailments or something in the works that they want to alleviate happening. What would that be? What would be the number 1, 2, 3 areas that you deal with in working with people who come to you to get them into the best physical shape that they can be in? How would you speak and how would you share what's major, so that everybody can be more aware of what to do and what not to do?
Well, there really is no bad exercise or one good exercise. There's a wrongly prescribed exercise.
I like that.
And so when someone comes to me, they're usually frustrated because they have an injury, they have a joint replacement, they want to be able to walk on the beach again, and they can't because they don't have balance. And it's not it's a whole body training component that we need to work on, and what I call is regress the exercise. The industry always progresses the exercise, but when we can regress the exercise, then we can meet the body where it's at, relearn the fundamentals of new movement that it's asking for, and then we can progress. So it's a unlearning to relearn.
Yes, that's crystal clear for most of us, because most of us settle into whatever and then to transition and make change to pivot. That's not easy for most people. And the other thing would be when people come to you and that change, that segueing from what they were doing, getting them to do this, that has to be a lot in on you to make sure that you align with them so that they really get that they have to do this in order to get away from some of the ailments and things that they come to you for. And I know for a fact that joint issues, especially as we age, are major. Would that be one of the major, whether it's a knee or hip replacement or whatever, would that be one of the main reasons that people come to you, or one of the major? Yeah. Yes.
I've had that. I've had clients with double knee replacements and hip replacements and shoulder replacements and spinal
Yes.
fusions, and I have worked with them all, and it all comes back into that they want a better life, and they know they need more than what when they get released from physical therapy, or the injury is old, or
Absolutely.
something like that. So they're in a space they just don't know where to get. They're in that gap zone between full fitness and physical therapy, and they don't know where to go, and somehow it magically show up in their life.
I like that. They're in that gap, and that happens to all of us in different areas of our lives. What would you say, or what are some of the major exercises, regardless to what status or stage you're at, that ought to be daily, that all of us ought to be doing, whatever that might be, something very simple and easy? What would some of those be? Because people want to know, even if they don't partake and do, what are some of the things that are good for them to do daily? I'd like to know that.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I just ran through a movement sequence today that was all chair-based. And what we do is following the rules of applied functional science. That's what my fellowship is in with the Bray Institute, that we have the body open up in the 3 planes of motion. And it is a great sequence to go through. And if you want to know more about it, I can train people later and do it.
Yes.
Thing. But really, our body moves in 3 planes of motion. And if we can't, and we need to open up that body, because the muscles need to spin around the bones. And if we can open that and breathe, if we can, and then we have that expansion to breathe, and then we loosen up the muscles around the bones so they can get some space to breathe as well and move.
I like that. But I also have to know these 3 planes of motion. Tell us, what are they? Let's give us the names. What are these 3 planes of motion that we all need to be aware and knowing of?
Oh, you're in my geek zone. My geek. Good. All right. So, and this is where I wish I could stand up, but I know it'll make things crazy. So what we have is that our body moves in forward. So we go into a nice forward position coming up, and then we go into a nice round position, and that's called the sagittal plane. Okay. And then we have motion that makes us curve to the left and curve to the right, and that would be called the frontal plane, side to side. And then we have what we call the transverse plane, which is vertical, and that would have to go around and around. And when we walk, all 3 planes of motion are busy. When we golf, we do all 3 planes of motion in a stationary position. So when we have anything that I'm working with a client, I look at what planes of motion they're doing well, what planes of motion they're not doing well. And in that, when the planes of motions are not doing well, remember that sneak attack?
Yes.
Well, I use the other 2 planes of motions to do a sneak attack on the plane of motion that's not working. I use that victim criminal rule. So if you're hurting, I'm going to leave you alone, but I'm going to take care and find the criminal in the sequence, and then I will figure out a way to cure them, not cure, but to make the situation best for the body for success.
We get that. Let me ask you, what do most people who come to you, GODELIEVE, what do they rebel against doing the most? What is it that they say, I know I ought to, should, it'll help me.
It takes too much time. I don't have the time in the day. They go, it's not hard, but it just takes too much time. And I said, well, we don't need to create a workout. We need to create a work-in.
That thing that you just mentioned to us is a biggie no matter what arena you're dancing in. That thing called time. And for those who, and that's why I'm assuming, which is sometimes deadly, so many people, when it comes to our health, we don't take the time, gotta leave, right? To do the things that we sometimes, most people are active up here and know that it's the best thing to do, but they won't do it because they won't make the time. How do we go about, or how do you go about alleviating or segueing in some way to support people to get away and make the time? That's your assignment.
It is, and you're right. People have no problem sitting meeting after meeting on a meeting on a cerebral basis, thinking that's being productive,
Yes.
and they will not take the time or the effort. It's called the effort to
Yes.
create the same amount of time. We all have the same 24 hours to be a physical hour because it's not considered productive. But unfortunately, that physical time is one of the most productive because it resets your body and resets your brain so that you can be in full attendance for that meeting. If you cannot be 100% present, that means you need to be doing a physical issue to re-wake the body.
Yeah, I like the way you explain that, and I like everything that you're sharing with us. And I have to tell you that this thing called health, it's sad, but you are making segues into changes for all of us and all the people who are in your industry, your business, your profession, health, because this pandemic, it's given us nothing else. It's that we really have to take better care of ourselves. Now, that said, I'm going to take a quick break, but you have another aspect of the work that you do that I'm excited to share with the audience, because my hubby loves golf. He no longer plays, he's not able to, but he loves the game and he's glued to that television. So we're going to talk a lot about golf when I come back. So I'm going to put you in the green room. Stay, be comfortable, don't go anywhere, and I'll be back with you in just a second. Thank you. Listen, health is everything. How many times do we have to say that? But GODELIEVE gave us what everybody, most everyone, I should say, it's never everybody, but most, we rebel against, that thing called time. We won't make the time. We don't have the time. And when it comes to our health and how we show up as our best self, you better be looking after your health. So I'm hoping that what you're going to do when I scroll across all of the information about her and what she's doing, that you'll connect with her. I also want you to put in the comments the word BIZ, B-I-Z, and you'll be delivered your complimentary booklet, which is all about business and interviewing and how you show up and all the good things that you're going to need. Because this is a new age, new visions, new vibrations, new vitality. This is where we're going to be working 99.9% of the time, most of us, in this box. So you want to get familiar. You want to get acquainted with it. I also want to make sure that you do this, and that's take a snapshot. I'm going to put it at the end of this interview. Make sure that you take this link, go and register, because my free masterclass for you next Thursday, June the 24th, is going to be absolutely awesome, because I'm going to be sharing with you nuggets, tips, and tools that mom and dad never shared with you because they didn't know. None of us knew. I'm in the fashion business, still is somewhat, and I know that these are things that we're not taught and we're not given. So I'm inviting you to join me there. And I also want you to make note of that date, June the 24th, and I'm going to look to see you there. Now, we're going to go back and we're going to talk with our leading lady, our guest tonight. What I want to do is add you to the stream, and then I want you to share with us. I know that you are a golf fitness professional, and that covers a lot of territory. But tell us how you came to this and exactly what it is that you do, because this show is for men and women, and most men do love golf, and you as well. So tell us about that.
Well, yes. So I started with a colleague of mine. We noticed that there was no golf exercises that was there for the everyday golfer. There's golf exercises for the PGA and everybody else out there, but there's no for the everyday golfer. There's nothing. And when you're looking for something, they give you these insane exercises of chest pass throw, all these other things. But when we were going through and creating the program, we needed to have golf-specific, authentic movement exercises to help increase their flexibility, mobility, strength, and stabilization. We need to create some power. We need to create endurance. And that's are all on global levels, meaning it's a whole body component. Can you do it? And then we needed to be able to go, are they strong enough to hold the address, which will then screw up the whole swing? Are we getting everything out of the backswing? Because if you can't support also the follow through and the finish, and are you getting all the power into the impact and get everything your body has through the club, through the shaft, into the club head, into the little itty bitty ball, so you can get that going.
I have to stop you just for a second here. And you know why? Because I celebrate, I applaud, I commend, I praise women like you, because you don't even think, I'm assuming sometimes deadly, you don't even know it, but I think you're really an agent of change and a female trailblazer, because how you started off to express to us how you came to do this, you said there was nothing out there like this. So here you are implementing this marvelous, fantastic program for everyone. So you need to celebrate you and applaud you. Go bravo for you. Good for you. Tell us more. Thank you. I love it.
Well, the thing about staying with the topic of golf.
Yes.
One of the things is that we want to be able to have golfers be able to play without taking a pre-prescribed Advil or an A1, right? We want them to be able to have pain-free golf. We want them to be able to feel strong and feel comfortable in their body and realize that some of the things that's wrong with their swing is nothing wrong with their swing. It's their body mechanics. So if they don't have remember talking about getting that space in the joints? If we don't have all the space in the joints, then it gets clunky, and then movements can't move fluidly, and you lose your coordination and a kinematic sequence that is needed for a proper swing.
I have seen that. I know exactly what you mean, because I attempted to do that golf thing. It wasn't for me, but I'm happy that hubby loves it and still watches it all the time. But one of the things that was always unnerving, some of those movements are very disorienting for the body. So what you're teaching now and what you're sharing with people, and especially, am I assuming women, or is it everyone?
It's everyone, but mostly my bigger population is men.
Yeah, okay. Because some of those movements, unless they know how to maneuver in the best way that's healthy for them, that will keep their body in alignment, they need what you're teaching. So I say good for you. Now, you are a golf fitness professional. This is one of is there a name for this program, this format that you have, that you're teaching, that you just shared a wee bit about with us? Tell us a little bit more.
Yes, I am TPI certified in the fitness as a certified fitness trainer.
Okay.
TPI meaning Titleist Performance Institute. They're well known. They train the pros out there. And then also I did a level of training that complemented my applied fellowship work and gift fellowship work at the Gray Institute, when we also did the functional golf specialist. So I have TPI really takes a lot from the fitness industry and what happens from there, and then you apply what each chain reaction mechanic and how the foot functions to the footing and everything else. I think I even have a thing with the foot, if you really want me geeking out here. And then so I do a blend of the two mindsets, and using that I can do a full assessment and see exactly what the golfer needs, so that they can be successful.
Oh, I like that. That sounds very somewhat, we are in this new age, and it sounds, I'm sure it's not, but it sounds a little new age, especially for those who are just coming out and don't really get the dynamics of what it's all about and how to get the body in alignment with all of that. Listen, I want to hear more about this, because I know that one of the reasons that hubby stopped way before now was that he made the wrong turn and everything went out of whack. And I'm sure that happens, and you see that all the time, right? And boom, he was out of service for quite a while, and then finally went back after healing, but didn't last long because it was damaged. Now, I want to talk to this because time flies here. You have something here that I really want you to speak to and leave us with, and that is your target dreams, childhood dreams. Share with us a little bit more about how you use that in your work and why that's so important to you.
Well, this is a nice segue to that. Well, we have those who have a childhood dream that they want to be an ultimate golfer, and Right, we could take that. And so when we're looking at that, what are the movements needed of a golfer? And, or let's say, I'm going to even put it into what are the movements of a dancer, whatever it may be. And for the golfer, they have to bend sagittal plane of motion all in a single space and not move. And you have a dancer that is leaping, jumping, twirling. So what is the function of going back as childhood? And then you look at what are the functions are. What are the movements? How can we mimic them? And how often can we do that? And that brings in that element of play and curiosity and innocence.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So if you don't know where to start, that's always a home run place to start.
I like it. Childhood, the movement, and then the play and the fun. How did you come to this, GODELIEVE? How did you get to this? I mean, everybody comes with a seedling of this, that, or the other, but what prompted you to marry this together and utilize this in the business that you're in?
Well, starting off in the fitness industry and working in a gym forever, and I was hurt. I had a joke that I only have one joint left. I'm down 3.5 knees, a shoulder, and an elbow, and everything else. and I would be in the gym, and I got a lot of the injuries from being in the gym or jumping off bicycles and other things. And I was a tree jumper. I was a throw addict. But when I was in the gym and I would see so many movements of potential injury that I was going, this can't happen. And when I also started doing a lot of other training, I had to create a vested interest into the client. So if we were doing a particular move, by taking out here and bringing the stuff here, they were just pumping those arms and doing nothing. And I said, you need to make this a vested interest. Like child, take the child and come here, grab the child. So it becomes a whole body experience. I go, if you want to bring it up here, that's a dirty child. If you want to bring it down, bring the child close. It's like you have to bring a life experiencing moment to every single exercise. And when you do, the whole body becomes involved because you don't want that person to get hurt. Doesn't matter. We get done with dumbbells. But when you include somebody else's safety, we suddenly include our whole body.
Oh, I like that. Were you always a body geek before you dwelled into the circle that you're in now, which is somewhat has exclusivity attached to it? Were you always a body geek? Were you always one who just had that wanting to know more and understand about how the body operates and the whys? Was that always you?
Well, being in corporate and moving into the fitness world, and I was always a gym rat. You always saw me in the gym and everything. And when I left the corporate world, when my son was born, and I started off in the industry, because this is funny, because I actually wanted a free gym membership. So the only way I can get a free gym membership is if I worked at a gym. And that really kind of got me started in that. And then I got my certifications, went back to school, went to college, did college at levels. Then that's when I started going to the fellowships. And I got bored with a lot of the fitness industry courses that I said, I need to be deep down. And when I start, I'm going to show you something here. So when I started getting really kind of fun here, and I want to talk to my clients and I need to give them a little education session, you ready for this? That I pull out my foot. And we talk about the functions of the foot. So when I talk about the functions of the foot, then and understand it and how important it is, then all of a sudden the client becomes vested in themselves. They can own the exercise. And I know when I'm done working with them, they'll be safe because they've got educated. They just didn't learn the exercise. They now own the movement.
Love that. Love that. Love that. Love that. Listen, the time flies here. You are absolutely refreshing because the work that you're doing is so monumental in so many ways, even for those who might not even be aware and know that now. I hope they'll get more of an insight about possibilities. Share with us anything that you want to in these last moments, whatever words of wisdom, whatever you want to share with the audience, whatever you want to leave us with. Most of the people will come for the replay, but they will be tuning in. So whatever it is you want to share, I'm running across your website, your name, and your email and your number. But anything you want to share, if you have a call to action or anything like that, feel free. The stage is yours.
Well, thank you for being here, whoever's watching. Awesome. Thank you for hanging out with us. So I want to put this out here. It's never too late to go
Yes.
after your childhood dream. Never too late. There's not gonna, don't ever encounter the shoulda, woulda, couldas and going, I'm not ready for it. Because your childhood dream can come to life anytime. So you need to be prepared. And if you're ready to be prepared and you don't know how, let me help you. Let me help you in a nice, simple inquiry conversation about first steps. If you choose to work with me, awesome. But you know what? All you need sometimes is that little bit of nudge of where to go. And if you don't know where to go, talk to me. I'll help you. And
I love it. Love it. Thank you, Godly. That is really beautiful. And I know that you will. I met you, and I can tell from how you express and what you share that this is your passion and that you really love it. And my prayer is that you will always continue with this and inspire and enlighten and help people to get to the maximum health that they're here to be. I'm going to put you in the green room. Say so long for now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'll be with you if you can stay in just a moment or two. Thank you again. Wonderful. I keep saying this, and I am repetitive. That's just my DNA, but health is everything. I can never have too many people who are all about being the best that you can be in every way, head to toe, top to bottom, hair to shoes, your body, eyes into your body. What she said is so profound. And we all need to get more in alignment with that. If anything, that's what this has shown us. I want you to make sure you put in the word BIZ and get your complimentary booklet. I also want you to make note of the date, June the 24th. I never know what I'm running across here, but that's okay. And get this link and join us there on the 24th of June. It's going to be really, really, really good. And that's her website. Make sure you go there as well. And I can't wait for you to make the connection with her and with me, and also join my group, the Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies. It's easy. Everything's on the website or on my Facebook business page. Thank you for being here. It's always good when you can show up. I know how busy everyone is, and we all watch everything when it's our time. I get that as well. Make sure you make the connection with GODELIEVE, because she really knows her stuff, and she loves it, and she wants to share that passion with you. You be and stay well. Look after yourself. All the best. You no longer have to wear the mask most places, but be mindful, be careful. Look after yourself so that you can look after many, many others. Until we connect again, and soon, you be and stay well. All the best. So long for now. Cheers.